This is a video that I've been talking about making for a very, very long time. There are certain particular seasons in Fortnite that people remember completely wrong. As somebody who has never taken a break from this game and has been playing since he started playing this game in Chapter 1, Season 3, today, I am here to tell you the accurate way to remember all these actual Fortnite seasons because everybody is blinded by nostalgia. Now, there is a ton of different seasons we can talk about, and I'm sure that we could dive into different things about each season. I'm talking about the ones that stand out the most. I'm talking about the seasons that everybody hated when it was actually a thing, but now for some reason everybody's always like, "Oh, don't you miss this season? I really miss the vibes, you know?" I know we say that for a lot of seasons, guys. I know we say that, but there are a select few that I want to talk about today. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's get started with Chapter 1, Season 5. So, this was the official season that Fortnite... Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. There's already a spelling mistake there. You guys, you're gonna have to deal with it. I'm sorry. I already had this video ready to go. This was the official season where Fortnite actually started to die. If you guys think that we have had these conversations within the last few chapters of Fortnite, it's like, oh, Fortnite's actually dying. The player count's low. Like every single base talking point that you've heard over and over again in Fortnite, spoiler alert, it's always been okay and it will be okay and it's going to go down as one of the most successful games, if not the most successful game of all time. This was officially like the conversation. If you were playing Fortnite, it was going downhill. This is when it started to, like, the general public started to hate on Fortnite. Remember, Minecraft good, Fortnite bad, that type of thing. And first of all, people were really pissed off about the actual meta because this was the season of the spray meta and the Rift to Go. People still complain to this day about things like cars and people running away. There were rifts everywhere. There were Rift to Goes, and everybody was kind of just in the air flying away. People got pissed off about that, especially the people who had to deal with a certain amount of spray meta. People used the P90, the SMGs going into people's boxes, and everybody had a big fat problem with that. Now, I will say this, okay? And I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the videos. Obviously, the people who enjoyed Fortnite were just online playing Fortnite. I'm talking about the online Fortnite community, right? In the grand scheme of things, they are a fraction of the player base, but all of a sudden, this was like the great old OG days. I miss my playground. Remember Chapter 1, Season 5 when we were having fun driving around in our golf carts? Which, that was also controversial whether or not vehicles should come to Fortnite. This season was one of my personal favorites, and it was a mess with this community. Everybody under the sun would not shut up about Fortnite starting to die. YouTube videos, Reddit posts, Twitter posts, big giant threads here and there. You couldn't talk to people without them mentioning that Fortnite's actually falling off now. If you guys thought that conversation about Fortnite dying is bad now, if you guys thought it was bad during the summer update, you should have been there for Chapter 1, Season 5. Nobody was happy. Nobody. This should be rated as one of the worst seasons of all time. Honestly. I know we had some fun moments here and there, but everybody was whining and crying the entire time. But it doesn't stop there because actually, I don't think it's quite Season X level. And we're not going to be talking about Season X because obviously that's accurately remembered. People didn't like it. Chapter 1, Season 7, guys, was one of the worst seasons of all time. One of my favorites because I'm a very, very casual player and I really did enjoy the Christmas lobby, or the Christmas vibes that we had. I loved the battle pass, the map, everything. I thought it was phenomenal. I had fun with the planes, but when this season launched, guys, you could not go anywhere without people talking about the planes. People were talking about the planes like they talked about the mechs. Were they overpowered? Yes. Was the Infinity Blade overpowered? Yes. 100%. I personally had fun with that. Very, very extreme casual players had fun with it. But you had planes driving through everybody's builds, mowing people down when the Infinity Blade launched. Even when they took the Infinity Blade out of the game, people wouldn't shut up about it. And granted, the competitive players, there was room for complaints there. But people talk like, oh my god, you remember when Epic Games used to care so much and gave us those great Christmas vibes? And they did a great job there too. And something that I didn't mention too, you guys remember the frost monsters or whatever those things were called? Yeah. I shouldn't have to fight this along with the players. Like, nobody was having fun this season. Everybody was whining and crying in YouTube videos, and still to that day, like in this season too, Fortnite was falling off and Fortnite was dying, and Epic Games doesn't care because they refused to nerf the planes. Eventually, the nerfs did come, but man, were people also unhappy during the season. I felt so alone in loving it. So alone. And now that we leave that season, now this is remembered as like the greatest vibes of all time in Fortnite history. Like, dude, if I had a YouTube channel back then, man, I'd literally be the only creator talking positively about it. People were freaking out about this. Absolutely losing their minds, man. And on top of that, this is when Arena launched in this season, but this was really when Fortnite became too sweaty for a lot of people. The skill gap was starting to separate a little bit more, and people were actually looking to play Arena. And if I'm not mistaken, Siphon also got introduced in this season. I'm almost sure it did. But regardless, people were getting really, really good around this time, and people were talking about how Fortnite is literally becoming too sweaty. These people need to touch grass, this and that. Nobody was happy during the season. This, if we're ranking it accurately among the rest of the Fortnite community, guys, this should be rated as one of the worst seasons in Fortnite history. Excuse me for just a second. I turned off my camera tracking. There we go. Let's continue on over to the next season, guys. We have another season, the one following that, Chapter 1, Season 8. There was a big, giant mess about the stretched res removal, but we're not going to really touch on that. It was mostly because of Ballers. Ballers ruining Fortnite. Did Epic Games just finally kill their own game? It's like Epic Games just wants their game to die. This season was phenomenal. I forgot to mention the Boombo too. Remember when that thing came out? It was powerful, but it was the end of the world. The Boombo does too much damage. It's too easy to use. And nobody would shut up about the Ballers, guys. I was the only one having fun with Ballers in this season. I'm sure that there's people here and there that really did like this season. Obviously, the season did end up getting well reviewed. But after that, after like we got to the live event, after the Ballers got nerfed to the ground, like they weren't nerfed like horribly, but Epic Games did save it a little bit in the season, but especially at the beginning of the season, man, the end game zones were so much fun. And people were saying Epic Games, again, ruining competitive. The end games were so much fun because everybody was in Ballers. There were so many people in the late game zones. That's something that I would kill for nowadays. But everybody was bouncing around. It was unique, and it was definitely a little bit more geared towards the casual audience. But yeah, people had a big problem with this Season 2 back in the day, man. But it's not like as drastic of a hatred that Chapter 1 Season 5 and Chapter 1 Season 7 had. Now, let's continue on because we have another season that Epic Games did end up saving by the time that it was over. But for like the first little bit of the season, guys, Chapter 1, Season 9. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember when it was the first time that the pump shotgun got vaulted? Fortnite's identity is gone. Fortnite's identity is no longer here, and it's like Epic Games wants to kill their own game. The fact that the pump got vaulted was literally the end of the world for people. On top of that, they brought in the combat shotgun, and the combat shotgun, which I agree, it was busted, it was broken, okay? It was like a sniper, that thing. That thing was the most overpowered weapon maybe in Fortnite history when it first launched. And what everybody carried throughout the entire season was the fact that Epic Games decided to get rid of their most iconic POI of all time. It didn't exactly help that Neo Tilted wasn't as good as Tilted Towers, but it was a fresh start. People were upset, like specifically about the game's identity. Like, it's a conversation that's been carried over since chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter because the pump was the identity. Tilted Towers was the identity. But as time's gone on with the season, Epic Games ended up creating a really good loot pool. The live event was a banger. The storyline was a banger. All I'm saying is this season wasn't just like happiness and peaches and flowery fun time, okay? People were really, really upset during the season too. Now, there is another season that I want to talk about, and that is actually switching up tunes a little bit in Chapter 2, Season 2. For some reason, we have a little bit of an opposite problem with this one, when the community actually really, really enjoyed this season at the time, but now people are remembering it where it's like, Chapter 2 Season 2 is a little overrated. Chapter 2 Season 2 wasn't that good. Do you guys remember how long it was? Let me say this for you, okay? The fact that this season got extended as long as it did, and this community didn't have a collective breakdown, should show that this is one of the best seasons of all time. I think it's Fortnite GG that has this rated as one of the best seasons of all time too, so of course, like, this is just the online Fortnite community that I'm talking about, but everybody was really happy during lockdown. The gameplay, storyline, events, they were all on point. The loot pool was really solid. Everybody was happy landing at the agency. We had 2 live events. The community really came together in the season. It was really, really having a good time. But for some reason, as time's gone on, people have literally had the opposite problem as those first few seasons that I've talked about. Now it's overrated. Now the season wasn't actually that good. People are like, oh my god, people just like the lockdown. It's the same thing as like, you're just nostalgia blind. No, this season was actually very good, and the lockdown only helped that because everybody had their friends coming back to playing the game. Everybody was consistently on the game. Fortnite was kind of like making its way back into regular people news. Everybody was really happy about this season. And now we're switching our tunes on that one. But guys, if you want to talk a little bit more about Fortnite seasons, why don't you check out my ranking for every single Fortnite season ever? And I would love to have you guys over at that video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, guys.